What is up, guys? So today we're going to talk about overcoming suicide, depression, anxiety, homelessness, alcoholism, prison, just so many things what I've been through in my life. I'm going to talk about how I overcome them, how I battle these demons every single day, because every day is a battle. As soon as you wake up, you have to make that decision not to go and use drugs, because it's easy to go out and buy drugs, and you have to talk yourself out of it every single day. It does get easier, but it doesn't happen overnight. But that's what I want to talk about, overcoming the dark, miserable times and trying to live a better, more fulfilling life. Now, the first thing, you cannot change the past, so there's no point dwelling on it. I know I do it all the time, because I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed, I'm disgusted that I got to a point in my life where I would go out stealing every day, shoplifting, and it totally changes you as a person. Because one of the things that I like doing now is looking back on people that I used to do drugs with, and I just can't believe some of the women that I was with. I'm like, what? Why? How was you so messed up that you thought going out with her was a good idea? And I saw someone yesterday and just fucking trolling along on this mobile scooter with chin up in air because all the teeth are knackered. I'm like, what the fuck were you thinking? Being around her? But that's what drugs do. They change you into that dude. And what I like doing now is going back and looking at these people or these girls who I used to do drugs with. And I remember when they first started on drugs, I was a heroin addict, a homeless, scruffy heroin addict. I was skinny as out, totally emaciated, long scruffy hair, just a scruffy homeless guy. And these women had just started on the drugs, so they still had the looks, they still looked somewhat decent. And I used to go around them and try and give them some chat up lines, and they'd be like, "Ooh, get away!" and now I look back on them and I find them on Facebook, and now they're around me, trying to talk to me, and they look totally different. Because look, I know I'm not good looking about, but I'm not as bad to say of what I've been through. I've been through years of addiction, homelessness, prison, all the things that I've been through, alcoholism, smoking crack, doing heroin for years. So I don't look that bad. I've still got my own teeth, and now I'm looking at these women that used to shoo me away, and they look absolutely haggard. They just look knackered, and it's the same old thing. Every time I look on Facebook, there's never no pictures. The only pictures that they put up, they've got that many filters on them that it's just a pixelated mess, And if you go through all the photos, there might be one right at the bottom, and they just look haggard, because all the teeth are gone. So when they put the jaw together, because there's no teeth to clench, the chin goes up in the air. That's how you know someone's got no teeth, because they stand there like that. And they look absolutely haggard compared to what I look like now. And now, because I'm getting a little bit of traction on YouTube, a little bit of popularity, they're coming around me now, trying to talk to me. And I'll always talk to them, I would never shoo anyone away. But I like going through it, looking at people who I used to, and I can't believe some of the women who I went with. It's just bizarre but that's what it does. That's what addiction does. It changes you as a person. And when I was at my lowest point, I could never imagine being where I am now. I'd given up on life. I used to wake up every morning because I was so broken. I used to wake up in the morning and just start crying because I was on over 100 ml of Valium every day. I was on Xanax, just used to eat bars of Xanax, and it's street Valium, street Xanax. I was an alcoholic, 10, 20 cans of beer, strong beer a day. I used to eat strips and strips of gabapentin, and I used to have those little red and white pregabalins, and I would smoke crack all day, every single day, and like I said, I'd given up. I'm like, there's no way out. I can't get out of it. I'm too far gone. And I'd convinced myself that there was no way out. And I used to think, I'm on 5 different drugs. I'm an alcoholic. And even if I give up alcohol, I've still got all these drugs to give up. If I can give up Valium, I've still got all the rest to give up. And even if I get off all them, I've still got the crack to get off. And even if I get off all that, I've still got fucking massive amount of weight to lose. I thought, there's no way I can't. And I'd convinced myself that I couldn't get clean until I did get clean. And the thing is, it's not smart to stop drugs like I did. If you stop drinking suddenly, you can die. You can have a seizure. The same with the Valium. If you stop the Valium dead, it's dangerous. But I didn't have time to taper down, so my thinking was, well, I'm dying anyway. I was such a mess. I could barely even walk. All my ankles were bruised and swollen. I used to lay on my back, and if I pushed my belly out, I couldn't see my feet. I couldn't see past my belly. It was that big. And I was just massively overweight. And I used to wake up every morning miserable. And people used to like see me struggling in the streets and take photos of me and upload it to social media for people to laugh at. And they used to message me on phone and say, oh, there's loads of lads coming to beat you up. And they was just fucking with me. But I was so far gone, I believed it. I was in such a vulnerable place. I believed that it was happening, so I was all worried and stressed, and it pushed me to a point where I didn't want to be here anymore. And I've spoke about it before. It's only that I'd misjudged it, that I didn't end myself, because my plan was to drink a load of vodka, get drunk, get the courage up. I'd bought a load of morphine and tablets, and I was going to have the morphine to numb my entire body and then take the paracetamol and just drift away into nothingness. But I drank the vodka too fast. I just downed it. I wasn't used to like hard liquor. I was used to beer every day. So I drank the vodka really fast, and I was so drunk I couldn't get the tablets out, and by the time I'd got them out, the morphine was kicking in, and I'd got through about 5 or 6 paracetamol and then just passed out on the floor. And I woke up the next morning and I was devastated. There was sick everywhere, fucking bruise on my head. And I remember just screaming out, just, what do you want from me? You won't let me die, you won't let me live. What am I supposed to do? And I was so lost. I couldn't see a way out. I'd given up. And I thought, there's no way. I'm dying. I'm going to die anytime soon. I had a funny turn where it was like I started going dizzy and my vision started closing in like that. And I nearly passed out, and I had to go outside. And I thought, right, that's it. That's enough. I'm going to get clean. And I'm going to do it. And like I say, it's not smart to stop it dead because it's dangerous, but I was out of time. I'm dying, so I might as well risk dying anyway and just stop dead. And that's what I did, and I stopped everything dead. And I didn't know it at the time, but Valium and Xanax are long lasting, and they give you Valium for alcohol withdrawal. So the first night, it wasn't that bad. I remember I was so worried, because I knew what was coming, and I didn't really sleep that well, but it wasn't that bad. And I woke up the next morning, because it's long acting, it held me for a night. And I remember waking up the next morning and thinking, this is not too bad, I've been worried about nothing. And then about dinner time, that's when it really started kicking in. And by midnight that night, I was in full-blown withdrawals. My God. It was so bad. And I remember the house I was at, that fucking one time they've ever used garlic for cooking, and it was that night when I was ill, and the smell hit me. And it's like when you're detoxing in a cruel twist, all your senses get heightened, so you can hear everything. Like when you get a hangover, so you can hear everything. Your body's fragile, so you can hear everything twice as much. You can smell everything twice as much. Pain hurts twice as much because you're in a fragile state. And the smell of garlic, I can't stand it now. Just thinking about it, I'm feeling sick. The smell of garlic hit me, and I was like, ugh. And I was laid on my bed, and it was so fucking bad. And I remember, like 5 nights in, no sleep. That's the worst part. You can't sleep at all, and I mean no sleep, none. And I remember like 5 nights in, I'd not ate, no, I was hallucinating, and I was just, and I said to myself, this is the worst anything. It don't get any worse than this. This is the worst thing anybody could ever go through. This is the worst thing you will ever go through. It's horrible, it's miserable, but you can take it. You know, you're surviving, you're going through it, you're getting there. And slowly but surely, after the weeks and months, you know, after like, I'd probably say 9 or 10 nights, I got my first bit of sleep and I fell asleep. It was only for like 10 minutes, but I remember the dream I had as well. It was such a weird dream. It was the Fun-Loving Criminals. I don't know if you can remember them. And they did a song called "Stick 'Em Up, Punk." It's the Fun-Loving Criminals. Dun, 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 dun. And I was running around London with them. It was weird. And then I started having the nightmares, which I think that comes from pre-gambling. I had the tremors as well from the alcohol. I'd never had them before, but I had them this time. I couldn't pick it up because it was just, it was horrible. You can't get comfy, but you can't move, if you know what I mean. You're stuck in limbo. It's just so bad. And and then the nightmares started, and I was, what was it now? It was about Ricky Hatton for some reason, and Michael Gomez, and I was on the computer and they were coming behind me, and it was like kind of like an hallucination, like a nightmare type thing, and they were slashing my throat with glass, and I'd wake up, and there was one where I was eating some fish from Doncatraz, because when I was in Donny once, they served some rotten fish, and I remember having a big spoonful of it because I was that hungry, and there was all bones, and it tasted all rotten, and I was in the nightmare, or the hallucination, whatever it was. I was eating this fish and puking, but then when I come to, I was puking in real life, and it was such a horrible time. But yeah, the nightmares, I think that comes from pre-gambling. I'm not 100%, and gabapentin. But yeah, it lasted for ages and ages, and it felt like it was never going to end. But slowly, I got my first night of sleep. It was only like 10 minutes, but honestly, that feeling was just so amazing. I thought, yes, that's it. I'm on the first fucking step to recovery. You know, I've slept on my own, and then it takes like weeks, months to start sleeping again. It don't come back all at once. You'll get like 10 minutes, then 20 minutes, and then 15 minutes. And it slowly comes down. That's why it feels like it never ends, because you're suffering all day and you're suffering all night as well. It's horrible. But yeah, I stuck with it, and it started getting a little bit easier. And then after about 3 or 4 months, I started going outside, and then you've got the new troubles of anxiety and depression, and you've got to communicate with people, and all the stuff what you've done in the past, all the stealing, all the embarrassment, all the shame, knowing that you were that guy, and you're seeing people, and because I was on that much Valium, I was seeing people who I'd been talking to when I was off my head, and like made a relationship with them, and they're coming up and talking to me, and I don't know who they are, you know. I'm like, bro, I don't know who you are. But they know me because I've been off my head talking to them, because that's what Valium does. It like blanks your brain. And like the anxiety was so bad. The first time, I couldn't even go in a shop, and I saw someone in a shop, and he came up and started talking to me, and I had a panic attack and started burning up, and it was horrible. And this is all from Valium use, because Valium breaks down those barriers. You know, it helps you to talk to people, and when they're gone, the anxiety comes back 10 times worse, and I'm overcoming it. You know, I'm slowly getting better now, because I get recognised in the street quite a lot, mostly from TikTok, which is weird because I don't really post that much on TikTok. I concentrate more on YouTube, but most of the people recognise me from TikTok, and it's great when they come up and talk and say hello and show support, and people come up and shake my hand, and it's mind blowing. It's like I'm rediscovering who I was before all these drugs, because a lot of people only know me through drugs and alcohol. So it's giving me a platform to show you what I'm really like, you know. And that's what I decided when I was at my lowest point. I said to myself, if you can get through this, if you can beat this, if you can lose all the weight, I didn't think I ever would, but I used to say, if you do, You've got to make a channel and show people what it's like, motivate people, inspire people. And that's what I do. And when I say happier days are coming, because if I'd have succeeded when I tried to take my own life, I wouldn't be here now. So, you know, you just got to keep going. Better days are ahead. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. And yeah, just keep going. And I do it by way of example. I'm not just talking about it. Anybody can say, oh yeah, I've changed my life, I've just tried to help people now, but they don't really, you know. I actually do it, and I think people recognise that, and that's why I do quite well on YouTube, is because people can see it's real. I'm not trying to put up an act, I'm not trying to look tough or cool. I couldn't give a fuck if you think I'm a tough guy, or, you know, I'm better than what I was. That's the main thing. And yeah, it's an ongoing process, but I'm getting there. Every day's a struggle, but I'm getting there. So it doesn't matter how miserable or how dark you think your life is, it's no worse than mine. And look where I am now. I'm totally clean. I haven't drank for years. Well, I say years. I did have a drink over Christmas. It was some Baileys, and really, I didn't enjoy it at all. It just gave me a headache, and I didn't feel very nice. You know, I just couldn't wait to go to sleep that night. So probably not going to drink again unless I see some old mates or something. I don't know. But yeah, what I would say is just keep moving forward, keep trying, keep going. You can fail 100 times. You've only got to get it right once. And yeah, just keep going, keep fighting, keep moving forward. Better days are ahead. But anyway, I've waffled on way too long now. So if you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, keep moving forward. Nerf the pack.